Hello and welcome to today's episode. We are going to talk about daydreaming, and I will go through some facts such as which brain areas are thought to be involved daydreaming, why it is important to do that, and also some tools how to practice daydreaming. But I think even more interesting in today's episode is that I'm gonna share 3 stories from real people and their dreams. Welcome to today's episode. So, I'm Janika Ruuska and this is my study journey. I'm studying neuroscience at the University of Helsinki here in Finland. So I'm doing my master's there. The idea for these videos is that you will see how it is to study neuroscience. Also, you might learn something about the topics related to neuroscience, and also sometimes just basic life videos during my studies. So I hope you will enjoy. So happy to have you here. So when we talk about daydreaming, it's actually meaning our ability to imagine pleasure, kind of thinking for pleasure. It's also said that it's our capacity to think kind of beyond the current moment. And it's also said that it has some health benefits, such as increased well-being and also improvement what comes to pain tolerance. So quite many papers which I found, or the blogs which were telling about the same topic as I'm talking today, were pointing out to the researcher called Erin Westgate, who is professor of psychology in University of Florida. So this sentence is from Westgate, that daydreaming allows us to imagine new realities. And when we look up the brain regions, like always, it's not just some certain brain regions are working alone and everything else is silenced. But there are some ideas which brain areas might be involved to daydreaming. So it's thought that some brain areas are kind of at least more involved to daydreaming than some others. So so-called default network is thought that it's one thing what happens, or it's activated when we are daydreaming, and these studies have been done by using fMRI. So I think the correct word is default mode network, and let's say that how it works, that those brain areas involved to that are interacting to each other when I would be, for example, not focusing to the outside world. Few to mention which are included to default network are prefrontal cortex and medial temporal lobe. Also, when we talk about daydreaming, because default mode network is activated during other things too than just daydreaming, I found from one source that regions which are deep inside the parietal cortex are also activated. And these are activated also when we are thinking about the past, but also when we are imagining the future. I love to Google some questions, always, surprise, and I need to say I have the Google now open, and I need to, it's always funny to look up what other people have been asking. So I Googled Neuroscience of Daydreaming. And I'm going to the publications, but I also read the questions from other people, and I found this really interesting. They were reading that, what happens in the brain when we daydream? And well, that's the thing what I was also asking. Then there are questions: does daydreaming kill brain cells? That's a scary question. Is it okay to daydream? Is daydreaming sign of ADHD? Do daydreams come true? Yeah, all kind of questions. And I love these questions. I will not give the answer for those, but I always would like to encourage people to ask questions. There are no stupid questions. Someone else is thinking probably the same questions. Before going to the tools, how to practice daydreaming, since now we know it has some health benefits and it's maybe important for our imagination, which is also affecting to our health in a way that we are feeling better when doing this. So I will give you some ideas how to practice it, but before that I will share the stories from real people, and I'm really thankful that they share those stories. I will not analyze the stories or give comments about what are in the dreams. So some of the stories were or people who were sharing the stories were saying that it's totally fine to put their Instagram account if you want to check who is the person behind there, but some of them wanted to just share the story without giving the name. The idea for this was just to show that people are doing this. There are different kind of daydreams, and kind of encourage people to daydream, and also to see that someone else might have the similar one. So enjoy the stories. So I'm reading the daydreams from my computer, and I'm reading as they have been written. So you will maybe get more the feeling of the daydream. So I was asking from these people, what is your daydream? So that was the first question. The second one was where this daydream kind of comes from. Do you recognize it? Can you recognize the reasons behind that? And also what this dream gives to you. The last question was about what do you think about daydreaming? Why you think it might be important? Daydream 1. My personal daydream is to have a life by the beach at a place which is always summer and enjoy the clean water and do water sports without any concerns. The reason is that this is the setting where I feel totally relaxed and happy. Also, it gives the feeling of freedom. Dreaming is important either to escape the routine of life or real life, to give you targets or reasons to keep pushing you, improving yourself, to keeping healthy and for trying to be successful. Daydream 2. I have a dream that I would have a child and that I could be a mother to that child. Since I was still a child myself, it has been a dream of mine to become a mother one day. I wanted to make everything I could to prepare myself to be ready and be the best mother I could be. I also wanted to have a partner to share this journey with me. Time passed on and I gained a lot of skills that I could one day be a mother. I learned to cook, bake, sing and take care of neighbors' children and practiced to have more patience in intense situations. But I failed to gain a strong relationship with someone, to share the journey and to become a mother. I failed to find someone who shared the dream to become a parent, a father. Years went on, but I was still young, 24. I had just started to date someone new. We had been together for a few months when I heard from my lady doctor that it would be very difficult for me to have a baby, and that if I wanted to become a mother, that I should hurry. Well, how do you tell someone you just started to date that this is my dream and they tell me that I need to hurry? It's now been 5 years since that moment. I'm still with this man, and he knows my dream. He have started to dream about a baby girl who looks like me. He tells me I'm her mother. I still have dream of being a mother one day, and finally I have person who shares my dream. I keep dreaming and maybe it one day becomes a reality. I have always loved the purity and innocence the small children have, and I have so much love to give. It is something that I have felt comes naturally to me, but that also I have practiced my whole life for. I would like to give my children all the love and support they need to shine their light and potential in whatever they want to do. Dreaming about it gives me hope that it will one day be true, that I can one day be called mom. Even when I was told to hurry, and I was told that it would be very difficult for me to ever have a baby, I think that it is very important for me to believe in this dream and not to give up on hope. I can never give up, and I think if one has a dream, one should never give up on the dream, but always to believe it will be possible. Everything is possible for dreamers, and now I have someone to dream with. And then the last dream, so Daydream 3. One of my big dreams is being architect and in Nordic countries. I have got a job in Helsinki during my exchange study, one of the best firms in Finland. First of all, I was attracted by Finnish architecture, from hard to pronounce aesthetics to functions, and it was also about my desires and my personal standards to be a good architect. Dream is kind of a goal of life, can be big or small, and it is a positive motivation to push yourself, move forward and work harder. Of course it would fail you, and it always fail you at some point, but eventually it will keep you fighting and fighting harder. So these were the 3 daydreams. Those were really different from each other, and I will not analyze those more, but I really enjoyed to hear these stories and daydreams. I bet you will see what are my dreams while I'm sharing these videos. At least at some point, so I will not go too deep into my dreams, but I gotta say that I'm really like a daydreamer. I love to do that. It's just kind of nourishment for me. It just keeps me alive. And I know the reality that always those are not maybe happening in my life, that some of them I will change as a kind of goal, it's there and I will push myself harder to get it. But I always keep my eyes open what will happen during my journey, because there might come something maybe which could be better for me or for someone else. So I like to keep my eyes open when I'm trying to get what I would like to have. Sometimes I'm just imagining things, how they could be, and enjoying it, and then that's how I live. All right, now it's time, because I know that it's not natural for everyone, and if you don't want to do it, you don't need to, but just maybe to try. You can always try, and it's claimed that daydreaming has a health benefit, so why not to try? So I went through the many articles, and I need to go back to Erin Westgate and the kind of protocol how to practice it, and then I will add something new there. So the first step when you start to practice daydreaming is that believe you can practice this skill. That even you are not now able maybe to daydream, believe that it's possible to practice it. The second point was that it's not some kind of to-do list or kind of a plan to the vacation. So this idea, just quit it. You don't need to do any kind of this goal thingy, what I just mentioned before. It was also suggested that do it the daydreaming when you are doing something where you don't need to use your mind that much. For example, when you are maybe making dishes or laundries, cleaning, walking in the nature, where you don't need to think anything else, but still doing maybe something. Then, last step, allow yourself to feel good. So, believe that it's able to practice this. It's not to-do list. Allow yourself feel good and do it maybe when you're doing something where you don't need to think anything else. For me, this sounds really good. But then I was thinking that it's sometimes hard to start without any concrete. So I was thinking that could it help? I don't know, I don't have any research about this, but just a suggestion that maybe it could be easy to start. For example, when you are eating something, you're maybe eating ice cream and it's your favorite one. And just put your attention to that ice cream and start to think, okay, where would I like to enjoy this ice cream? Like thinking you have something concrete there, the ice cream, and then start to think where I would like to eat it. So start to imagine maybe it's some kind of beach where you would like to eat it. It's some kind of concrete thing, and then you can add more things. The ocean, is it ocean? Could it be that the sound of birds would come there, or would there be other people with you, or like add more things there, what you would like to have there. It doesn't need to be any concrete place, but it's easier to start with something more concrete. So now you have ice cream and you might have a company there and some kind of smell of the ocean and birds, or maybe music, what you hear. And then you can start to imagine how long you would stay there and what else would happen to make a perfect day. So kind of open it from eating ice cream to other things, what would happen there. And I think this is maybe a bit easier way to start daydreaming, when you first have something concrete and you build up the story kind of around it. Alright, I hope you enjoyed today's video about daydreaming and maybe you start daydreaming by yourself. Remember to subscribe this channel, and also likes are always welcome. On the next episode, I will share how my week was. So I'm welcoming you to my basic life. I'm also telling something about how it is to make these videos. So I hope you will enjoy that too. See you on next time. Bye.